What's the most ridiculous reason you want a lawsuit? I used to work for this dog grooming startup in LA called Paws on Wheels. We had this beat-up van, and I'd drive around to rich neighborhoods washing people's dogs. The pay was decent, and I actually loved working with animals, so it was perfect for me. One Tuesday morning, I got a same-day booking from this woman named Cassidy. She lived in this fancy gated community in Beverly Hills. The app said she had a purebred teacup Pomeranian named Biscuit that needed a full wash and trim. When I pulled up to her house, she came out carrying this tiny dog that looked absolutely horrible. Biscuit was covered in matted fur so bad I could barely see his face. He had flea bites all over his little body, and his eyes were crusty with green stuff that looked infected. The poor guy was shaking and whimpering. I felt sick looking at him. This wasn't just a dirty dog. This was straight up neglect. But I'm not a vet, so I just did my job. I spent 2 hours gently washing him, being super careful around his sore spots. I took photos of everything like our company required, documenting all his injuries and the condition he was in. When I was done, Biscuit looked like a completely different dog. His white fur was actually white again, and he seemed so much happier. I left a handwritten note for Cassidy suggesting she take him to a vet for his eye infection and flea problem. I dropped him off at her front gate like always and drove to my next appointment. 3 hours later, my phone starts blowing up. My boss is calling, then texting, then calling again. Cassidy had called the company absolutely screaming. She was claiming I injured her dog and refused to return him, but that made no sense. I literally had GPS proof from the van showing I dropped Biscuit off at her house at 2:47 p.m. I thought it was just some crazy misunderstanding. Maybe she was confused or something. Boy, was I wrong. 2 days later, I'm eating cereal at my apartment when someone pounds on my door. It's animal control. Cassidy had filed a report saying I abuse animals and they needed to investigate. My heart was racing, but thankfully I had all those time-stamped photos showing Biscuit's condition before I even touched him. The animal control officer looked through everything and basically told me this lady was nuts. Turns out she'd made complaints against 3 other dog groomers in the past year. Always the same story. They hurt her dog somehow. Then things got really crazy. I got served with actual legal papers. Cassidy was suing me for $10,000, claiming I kidnapped Biscuit and caused her severe emotional distress. My roommate Trevor thought it was hilarious until I showed him the court date. This was real. I had to get a lawyer and everything. Thank God my company's insurance covered it, but still, I was terrified. My lawyer, this older guy named Richard, seemed confident though. He requested security footage from the house across the street from Cassidy's place. The neighbor was happy to help because apparently Cassidy was a nightmare who complained about everything. The footage was perfect. It showed Cassidy walking Biscuit around her yard the exact same day she claimed he was stolen. The timestamp proved she was lying. I thought that would end it, but Cassidy's lawyer came back with an even crazier story. Now she was saying the dog I returned wasn't actually Biscuit, that her real dog was still missing, and I had somehow switched him with a different Pomeranian. At this point, even the judge looked annoyed. Richard requested Cassidy's vet records, and that's when we hit gold. She had literally bought a second Pomeranian online the week after she filed the lawsuit. She was trying to use the new dog as evidence that I still had her original one. The final court hearing was like something out of a movie. The judge actually let Richard bring both dogs into the courtroom. I was nervous as hell, but Richard had this plan. He brought out the exact shampoo bottle I always used, this specific coconut-scented stuff that dogs either love or hate. Then he called out, "Biscuit!" Only one dog ran straight to me, tail wagging like crazy. He remembered me and the smell of that shampoo. The other dog just sat there looking confused. Cassidy's face went completely red. Her lawyer looked like he wanted to disappear into the floor. The judge ruled in my favor immediately, but it got even better. He fined Cassidy for filing false claims, animal neglect, and lying under oath. That's like 3 different crimes. Then came the biggest shock of all. The judge said since Biscuit clearly bonded with me and was obviously better cared for in my hands, he was awarding me full custody of the dog. I walked out of that courthouse with my new best friend, and Cassidy had to pay my legal fees plus the fine.